What can I say about Modern Warfare 2 that has not already been said? Oh, what's up, guys? I got some Domination gameplay for you. And originally, what I had intended for this video was I was going to talk about all the things that frustrate me with Modern Warfare 2, and this video makes the perfect backdrop. Otis, Random, Stabby, and I partied up, thought we'd play a little Modern Warfare 2, and didn't want to play TDM just because we'd be fighting with each other for kills. The games would be really short, and we'd spend half the time sitting in the lobby. So I figured, hey, we got almost a full party. Why don't we try a little Domination? That should be fun and shouldn't have any problem with whatever lobby we're dropped into. This was the first lobby we were put into. This is the very first game of Domination that we played. And straight out of the gate, all the way to the end of this bitch, there's nothing but tubes. Just a constant barrage of people tubing, and it just escalated. Both sides are doing it. It's ridiculous. And I was going to keep a tally. I was actually going to, like in the upper right-hand corner, a little counter. Every time I heard a thump, every time I saw somebody get killed in the kill feed by a tube, I was going to keep track of it. But by this point in time in the video, I was up to like 30 or 40. I wasn't going to keep track throughout the entire course of this game. I'd end at 400. It's ridiculous. And it didn't used to be like this. I mean, people didn't have full squads right from the beginning. I mean, like, maybe once or twice you'd run into teams trying to troll, but not all the time. People would, maybe get frustrated because somebody's trying to unlock. Don't you unlock something if you use the tubes? I don't know. Maybe some guy just has a tube. Or maybe they're killed by somebody using painkiller. They get frustrated, so they retaliate, and they bring out the one-man army tubes. And then the other team retaliates. They bring it out, and then all of a sudden, by the end of the game, you've got full squads of people doing it. But it was like an escalation effect. It didn't always happen right from the get-go. But now, man, like almost every lobby, it's just full squads of dudes doing it. And there's nothing you can do to combat it. People say use the blast shield. That is not a solution to tubes. If somebody has a danger close tube, all that does is bring their danger close to normal levels of explosions, and you lose your HUD. That's not the solution to one-man army tubes. So yeah, it's just frustrating. It sucks. It's one of the reasons why I don't play Domination solo at all, just because this is par for the course. This is how most Domination games go whenever I play Modern Warfare 2. I tend to stick to Mercenary Team Deathmatch. And I play Mercenary Team Deathmatch not because I'm afraid of going against teams. It's the only game mode that I can play that I enjoy that allows for party chat. And I know Infinity Ward restricted the game mode party chat because they wanted to prevent boosting, I guess. But if you wanted to prevent boosting, get rid of tactical insertions and free-for-all. And even then, people could use private chat with each other. It wasn't a very good solution. It really kind of detracted from the game because whenever I play, I normally stay in party chat. So yeah, it's but yeah, I didn't want to go through all the things that that upset me about this game because it's a 2-year-old game, and I'm sure you guys have heard it all in the past. Things like commando, death streaks. I'm not even a big fan of the nuke and objective-based game modes. Keep it in TDM and free for all. I know it's not coming back, but I wouldn't care if they brought it in TDM or free for all. And even the secondaries, I think they're too powerful. Like, if a sniper has the ability to pull up the Garden Hose A12 and just close his eyes and spray in all directions and get a kill, it's ridiculous. Like, that's like a camper's ultimate wet dream, is having an A12 in his back pocket and just pull that out whenever somebody tries to take out their camping position. But yeah, no, instead and another thing that I'm coming off talking bad about Modern Warfare 2, the things that frustrate me. I'm not saying it's like an overall bad game. No, I don't love it. The game's fun. It's a big hot mess. Like, when it's fun, this game is a lot of fun. It's the fastest Call of Duty, I think, throughout the entire series. I love the graphics. I love the visuals. I like the things they brought in terms of innovation. I think the guns are actually fairly balanced. I used to think actually that the ARs were far too powerful, or they outclassed the SMGs. But having a chance to actually go back and try them all out, I actually think this is one of the more balanced games in terms of the guns. I actually think they're a lot more balanced. You can really use any weapon and do just fine. Real quick though, just listen, because I'm sure my commentary has been muffling it. Listen to the explosions in the background. although I didn't keep count of how many tubes were fired by the end of this game, a little spoiler, I ended up dying 18 times. 6 of those times I died to a gun. The other 12 times were either to a tube or a knife or some type of explosive. So yeah, it seems a little disproportional if you ask me, if I'm only dying to a gun 6 times. But I'm not trying to harp on this game. Like, I'm not trying to. The whole point of this video isn't for me to rant about my problems with Modern Warfare 2, because I've got issues. I mean, there's been problems with all the Call of Duties. Black Ops, I think, has some of the worst hit detection throughout the entire Call of Duty series of any of the games. There's some lobbies I play in where all my shots connect right on target, don't have any issues whatsoever. And for me, that when that happens, the game's fun. There's not really anything frustrating in regards to Black Ops. But there's other hosts that I play with, other lobbies that I play in. Doesn't matter how many excuse me, it doesn't matter how many times I shoot the guy. Don't get any hit markers at all. And I've looked at my videos afterwards. I always record live. I never check in theater because theater is just a representation of what's happening. But I check the live feeds to see what happened and, you know, slow it down. And all my shots are on the character model. Don't get a single hit marker. And that's frustrating when you're shooting a guy before he even knows you're there, and it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter what you do. He kills you. And I think a lot of people kind of speculate that that could be because there's a lot more statistical data that's being tracked with this game and the information in regards to theater mode, which will be interesting because, you know, Modern Warfare 2 I feel has the best netcode, has the best hit detection of all the Call of Duties. But what happens when you incorporate theater mode in there? Is that going to kind of detract from the experience? I hope not. So yeah, no, I guess the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about with this is just what Infinity Ward can do in regards to Modern Warfare 3 to make it better. Because the one thing that I think they did, the biggest problem with Modern Warfare 2 wasn't any specific aspect of the game. It was the fact that I feel like they tried to do too much, and either they didn't have a very effective dev test team or their dev test strategy just didn't make sense. Because I mean, there's a massive change between Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2. They added in all this content, but so much was, I felt like it wasn't fully tested, wasn't fully fleshed out. I mean, stuff like misaligned red dot sights were brought in. I think the LMGs with silencers didn't work. I know a couple pistols with silencers didn't work. The fact that one-man army tubes was brought in. One-man army by itself is a fine perk, but you can tell that they didn't plan it all the way through, because if you have an LMG and you had one-man army pro, you can reload an LMG faster than you could if you use sleight of hand. So I mean, why would you use sleight of hand ever with an LMG? You get faster aim down sight, but people aren't really running and gunning with an LMG. I mean, there's kind of things like I felt like they missed in terms of the dev test. And even during the course of the game cycle, when people were complaining about the models and they patched it the first time, they reduced the range, they didn't test it completely. You could still use it with a Kimbo FMJ. It still had that same long range. They ended up patching it later, but a lot of things kind of slipped through the cracks. I don't know, and a lot of the rumors I'm hearing now with Modern Warfare 3, they're adding a lot more complexity. Or if it's true, I don't know if it's true, but it seems like they're adding a lot of things to it. And that's not really what I'm looking for with these games. I want it to work, for one. I want the hit detection of Modern Warfare 2. I want the visuals from Modern Warfare 2 and the speed and the pacing, because I mean, this game I think has the best pacing. I think I said that before, the best pacing of all the Call of Duties. But I just don't want all this extra layers of complexity. Keep it simple. I don't know. It'd be interesting. COD XB is coming out this week. I actually sent off an HD camera to one of the forum boys that are going to the event, so hopefully we'll be able to get some footage, be able to see how the game's going to play out. I'm still on the fence about this game, but hopefully the XP event will kind of sway me in one direction or another. Let me know what you guys think, and like always, take it easy.